Welcome back. In this lesson, we're going to be creating a deck of cards. So the first thing that we need to do is set up a few more variables, and these are some default variables that we can utilize. We need a deck. This is going to be a global variable, which will be the array that we're going to use. We're also going to set up a few other arrays. So we've got the ranks of the cards, and this is where you can list out all the cards that you want. So we want all the way up to 9, 10, and then jacks, queens, and these are strings, and kings, and we want aces to be the largest card. And then there's the different suits. So set up another array to hold the suits. And we're going to specify the suits as we've got hearts, diamonds, club, and spades. So using these values, we can loop through the suits, and then we can also loop through the ranks and build a deck of cards. So that's what we want to do when we start the game. We've got the start game function. We've got a global variable to handle and to take all of the deck contents. So next thing that we want to do when we start the game is we want to build the deck of cards. So build deck can be the function that will create the deck of cards. Let's set that function up. So when we start the game, we're building our deck. And this is going to be a series of loops. So first thing that we want to do, clear out the existing deck of cards. So this is a global object. So that's why we don't have to declare it again. And let's use 4 loops. So starting with I is 0, and while I is less than, and looping through that suits array. So looping through while I is less than 1, we're going to increment it by 1. And so we need another loop inside because we've got another parameter that we're using in order to build the deck of cards. So we'll set this one as j, and looping through while j is less than ranks length, as we've got both of those arrays that we've got to iterate through in order to build a full deck of cards. So once we're looping through there, let's create a blank card object. So this is going to be an object, and this can hold all of the information that we need for our card. So let's set up some values for that object. So taking in the suit, so this is going to be coming in as suits, and suits is controlled within I. Card, and we want to get the rank of the card as well. So this is held within the ranks array. So as we iterate through there, when we get to j, we'll output that value. We've also got a card value, so that can be j plus 1. So setting this up to be whatever the value of j is. So as we increase in ranks, we can increase the value of the card. And then lastly, let's take that card and we'll push it into the deck. So as we loop through both of these loops, by the time we're completed, we're going to have a finished deck of cards. And we can see that when we console log out whatever the value of deck is. So let's see what that looks like, and refresh. We hit the start the game, and that builds up our 52 card deck. And as you can see, we start out with all of the hearts. So we've got a rank of 2 and a value of 1. So going up, and aces are the largest value, so they have 13. So they're going to be the highest card. You might also want to have an ace as a 1. So it all depends on how you want to set up your deck. For this case, what I'm doing is I'm having the ace set up as the highest card, so that's going to be 3. So we get all of the values, all the ranks for the hearts, all the ranks for the values, diamonds, clubs, and spades. And then we've got all the cards have a value in the order that they appear in the array. So if you want to switch these around, you're welcome to do that. But best practice is to keep it within that sequential order so that that way you can automatically set the values as you loop through them. And it's going to make it a lot easier to compare which card is higher. So now that we've built a deck, next thing that we do is we need to set up the players and then deal the cards. So that's still all to come in the upcoming lessons. So go ahead and build a deck of cards. And this is another thing that we're going to do is going to shuffle this deck of cards before we deal it out as well.